but it's now also bluey glow stuff, so it's probably walkable. Aha! I am the savior. Welcome, travelers of the internet, to Brighthelm Recording. This is your host, Master Barkle, playing the Pillars of Eternity. And last we left off, we had just freed Mainha of some of her previous memories where she was a bit more, shall we say, like, it traumatized her a bit because, you know, she didn't really want to do those things, and it helped kind of shape her character. But anyways, we're in the Temple of the Fallen Moon, the Abbey of the Fallen Moon, and here we are, or we were pretending to be the Tidebringer, but I've decided against that because, you know, I don't really want to have all that work. I just want to stop the Megfolk, the big bad guys with piston arms and all that. And so we're off. Ooh, the library.
Something over there.
Okay, what treasures we got here? Scrolls. Books. Abydon's hands. The enemy had a god of cold. Okay. All kinds of books here. All kinds of books. I think they're all stuff that I already have, though, too. What have we here? Is this the door? I feel like we're probably getting close to the door. This looks kind of like an entry. Hey, there's stairs. Interesting. Turquoise in a vase. Mondrates. Okay.
Not a problem.
It's a nice little sculpture of a tentacles smashing ship. The craftsmanship that gave form to this statue appears too skilled and refined to come from mere mortal hands. Ooh. That's ominous. And so
What does the flame reveal?
the fine craftsmanship of the temple turned to tunnels once more. The ramparts of the fallen moon. The reliquary. That probably heads back down to the Halls of Silence.
Nice and quiet.
Despite the warmth of the nearby fires, a thin layer of frost clings to this store of supplies. Is that fish? The vegetables. Okay. Alright, this is probably just a kitchen. There's a lot of people in the... I think this is more of a dining hall. I wonder how many more of these guards there are around here. We got
Not a problem.
Quarters key.
And what does the flame
I can do that. That's settled.
Alrighty.
And the fire shows me something new.
There we go.
And the fire shows me something new.
More hidden secrets. Another quarters key. Alrighty. Looks like we're kind of like skirting around like this main room here in the middle.
You've made a grave mistake. I will correct it in Andra's name.
I've made the mistake? You guys are the ones attacking me. Okay. Well. I dare march into the fray alongside Tonk and Menha. Zawa, head this way. The Durance. Rollen, take up position there. Eyeless back up a bit. Okay. There we go.
I cannot land a blow!
Uh-oh. Okay, we need... This is for this guy. Goodness. Alrighty. Okay. Just disappear.
Moe Ixi Ana.
Alrighty. Take that, Cowtoe. It's got some good light armor there. We got another wave-crested key and steel-banded key.
Not a problem.
Alright, let's talk with his essence. The High Abbot's soul remains close to his body. It radiates a warmth only you can feel. You project your essence outward, and when it makes contact, you feel suddenly plummeting through the moments and sensations of another life. You see beneath you in a memory glowing brightly, and as you pass it, you latch on and pull yourself inside. You walk briskly through a hallway flanked by small gated rooms. It has the feel of a prison, but the architecture is consistent with the abbey. Your heart races. You pause at an array of panels, too blurry to read. You rearrange them, and a hidden tile slides back in the wall. In that spot, you make a strange sign with your hands, and the way ahead opens for you. You ascend a flight of steps and take hold of a rod-shaped object, attached to a mechanical device, and push down on it. You hear the sound of water in the distance. You are falling through memories again, but come to a sudden, sharp landing outside an enclosure that overlooks the facade of the abbey. Water flows over an archway like waterfall without a source. You look in your hand, and the relic you took from the device is there. You extend it outward, and the water seems to be repelled by it, creating space for you to enter. As you step through, the doorway leads out of the memory entirely. You withdraw in the same direction you came from, flying upward and out of the High Abbot's soul. So that's how we drown out the low tide. Okay.
I'll go on ahead.
I'm sure that'll come in handy at some point or time. I just don't know when.
That's settled.
What have we got here? The Abbot's quarters. Okay. crap. Jeez. It's still coming. But done. Aylot's not doing too good. The Journal of the High Abbot. We'll probably want to read that.
Just say the word.
This volume appears to serve many functions. There are notes in it detailing schedules and routines at the Abbey. There are favorite passages from Ordendrite texts, annotated with personal insights. There are also descriptions of dreams. Many seem purely symbolic, but one entry is of interest. It had been long since I dreamt of my rising, yet now, with another rising soon upon us, this is the 5th time in a week. Perhaps channeled here, I can put it to rest. The 5th rising? Okay, I am walking through the halls of silence. I feel eyes on me from all sides. Angry, vengeful eyes. I arrange the panels and curl my hands into the sign of the tide. The right as the wave, the left tracing the crescent moon with my 2 outer fingers. The way opens to me. I climb the steps, and Andra's witness is installed there. The old aspergillum, set to operate the valves. I use it like a lever, and the water rises. There are angry shouts, and when I cover my ears, they are louder still. But the water continues upward, far past where it should. I climb as high as I can, but I feel it icy on my feet. Then it is over my head, and I cannot breathe. Suddenly, I am outside the reliquary, looking at the Veil of Tears. The witness is in my hand, and the veil parts for it. I step through to the one place in the Abbey I feel protected. Only when I pass inside, I come out in total darkness. I call for help. I'm shouting, screaming for help. There is no answer. I stop. I sit there in the dark, waiting for what seems like ages. Then I realize I don't know who I am.
Nothing will
There's
slip
really been
past
that many
me.
traps in this place. Gotta say. A massive crystal, its jagged edges iridescent with an unearthly glow, pierces through the dome. Mosaics and tiles have been carefully arranged around the strange rocks. Okay. A thin film of iridescent dust floats on the calm surface of the waters, obscuring its depths. Alright, that's about it. Let us return to the halls of silence. We don't need to be sneaky no more. You stand again before the 4 stone panels, and you perform the sign of the tide on the hidden carving. You curl as your hand, as Kauto had done, and position it over the carving of the wave. Then using your other hand, you trace the arc of the crescent with your index and little fingers. Heavy rumble stirs the ground, and from all around you comes the sound of rushing water. I don't know if I want to swim across that. But it's now also bluey glow stuff, so it's probably walkable. Aha! I am the savior.
Cannonball!
There we go. They're free. Or something like that, anyways. Okay. Embedded in the deep semicircular slab is what looks to be a vessel for the sprinkling of holy water. In this context, however, it looks more like a lever. There are images engraved on the wall behind it. One of a rising wave, one of an open gate. So do we want to release a bunch of crazy people in the world? That's what they want. It'd be the nice thing to do. But is it necessarily the right thing to do? You know, like, we're high up on the mountains. Like, what if they all just go to Rayet Saris and cause issues over there? Right, like, then it won't be my problem. So let's hope that's what happens. In the distance, you hear the mechanical snap of rusted locks and the groan of iron hinges. Why are they armed, though? Echoing voices reach your ears. The words are unintelligible, but you can make out laughter, crying, and cheers. Soon after, shouts of alarm resonate in the distance. With a click, the machine releases its hold on the strange rod. You pack the vessel away. Alright.
Andra's tides. Here's hoping the cold gets them before they reach a town.
Maybe. We still don't know fully if they, like, would cause any harm. Other than, I don't know, maybe to themselves. Wonder if he's still here, that old fart. Nope, he ran. Probably a good idea. Now that I come to think of it, I haven't killed any of the guards outside of the Abbey. So, like, what if all the guys are just going up the stairs and then running right out the Abbey of the Fallen Moon doors and just finding a bunch of guards there ready to, well, capture them because they said they didn't want to harm their brethren. I don't know. What? Ramparts? Okay, so I guess, yeah, this is the ramparts. I forgot there was 3 entrances. Okay. There's water. Is this part of what, like, the Tidebringer's supposed to do? Right here? Tell me we could just walk around it? Oh, no, we can't. Okay. Splash. Whoa. That's a big old skull. Is there a boss battle coming or something? What's that? Halls of Presence. Another door? What? What? I could have went out that way? Oh. Okay. It's a big old jaw there. He's got something in his head there.
A goddess who buys faith by hiding secrets is sure to have a few of her own. We should not be surprised.
Well, of course they're her secrets. Judging by the distance of the nearby skull, a tremendous force severed this vertebrae from the rest of its giant body. Probably. The structure behind this giant ribcage appears to have been built around it. Where does that go? Don't know. We still want to be here. Yeah. Yeah. That's the fast way out, I guess. The strange crystal formations of this rock intact even after the collision against the thick bones of this giant skull, seem to radiate with a warmth of their own. So, here's the skeleton's head, and his rib cage is down here. There's the tip of his neck, which means, like, the impact of that rock, I guess, like, knocked it off of him, you know? Whether he was alive when that happened or dead-ish, I don't know. He's got one hand, arm splayed over here. Hand is missing, or not here. And his other arm is here. Which, yeah, maybe. It could be fine, you know. Here's a leg just kind of thrown over the ice there. There's a hip bone down there, which is a bit funny. Maybe it's in the rock here. Point is, this dude's big. Lodged between rows of crystalline rock, a large fragment of metal protrudes. It looks as though it might be possible to pry it loose. Let's pull it out. At your touch, the splinter metal begins to glow orange. Heat surges up your hands and arms and envelops you with such intensity you feel as though you are melting down. The heat spreads to the world around you, turns it orange and then yellow and then white. The ground, the sky, everything around you drips in molten globs as begins to take shape beneath you, as if in an invisible mold. You and the shard are the last things to melt and fall, and your addition to the molten pool completes the shape of an immense hammer. The metal cools as quickly as it had heated. The handle is gripped now by two great leathery hands, and the hammer is cocked back over a shoulder as broad and mottled as a hilltop. The wielder whirls around and heaves the hammer, and you are flying upward for what seems like ages into the airless blackness above. As you spin, you catch glimpses of a rock large enough to be a moon. It is close, far too close to the world. The force of the impact shatters hammer and stone alike. The rock is redirected outward, but a section of the front face is cleaved off and begins to fall, splintering apart at the cracks. In 100,000 fragments blossoming outward in all directions, debris showers the atmosphere, trailing smoke and fire. Below, land and sea are far off, but gradually rising up. I feel like I'd want to land in the sea. Feels a bit more softer there. The largest of the fragments, wide as a city, barrels downward in a fiery cocoon. Its size reduces as the edges immolate, but it won't burn up in time. It lands silently in the distant ocean, sending a column of water skyward and radiating ripples that spread like wrinkles in fabric. Then the sound comes tearing up through the sky. It sounds like thunder. Now to the land. Features are becoming clearer by the moment as you shriek towards the earth. You are lodged in an enormous boulder, falling among other smaller fragments that heat and burst around you on all sides. Beneath you, snow-capped mountains rise up, dotted here and there by cities of stone and Adra. The impact will be the destruction of all of them. The shadow of your rock fragment is visible, now getting larger by the second. You are moments away from striking the ground when a massive shape throws itself into your path. The last thing you hear sounds like another rumbling impact, but that isn't what it is. It's a chuckle, relieved, breathless. You hear two words. Made it. Everything goes dark. You open your eyes. The metal hammer fragment has come free, and now you hold it in your hands. It is warm to the touch. The air around you is suddenly turbulent, spiteful. A cold, damp wind whips your face. Salt crystals collect in your nostrils and the creases of your eyes. The floor below you becomes blue-gray and glassy. churning and rolling, and when you fall, you crash through water. Violent waves hurl and spin you. Something slithers around your ankles, seizes you with incredible strength, drags you down into silty depths.
This is very good.
This is not the time. When the pulling stops, you are hovering at the center of an endless blue abyss. You can see neither surface nor floor. You seem to be facing downward, but there is no way to be sure. A voice sounds from everywhere at once, and the immense pressure wave of each utterance sends you reeling.
Deceitful wretch! Grave robber! You who dig for that which you did not bury, speak! Explain yourself and be judged.
I seek a means of defeating an army that threatens my lands.
You seek what is mine, what was rightfully lost.
The outburst propels you, sending you end over end.
Your actions speak for themselves. The battery opened, the forge ignited. You set free souls that hid from me, that stole from me and evaded my judgment. The dwarves sealed their own fate. The forge was meant to be forgotten. And now, here you are again, denying peace to the buried.
The turbulence around you calms. Silt settles like a slow exhalation, and the vast dark seascape beyond the murk fades in. Rays of light trickle down from far above into green gold columns of kelp that rise from the depths and sway back and forth in the current. Fish and mollusks patrol them in groups of hundreds and thousands. The nearest pass you with watchful eyes. So the Eyeless are yours?
What the world casts aside, I take into my care. A thing may be forgotten, but it is never alone as long as I am here. They were lost children, abandoned, fixed on a purpose that no longer had meaning. I took them in, gave them new purpose. I did not create them, but yes, they are mine.
And what new purpose did you give them?
Some things that are forgotten must never be remembered. Not merely for the benefit of those who forgot, but for the entire world. There can be no second thoughts, no sympathy or stays of execution. The Eyeless were born to fulfill this task, though even their creator did not know it. They are single-minded and relentless.
You mean they kill those who remember what you want forgotten?
They do not flinch when called upon to do what is necessary. Kith owe them a great debt for the troubles they have hidden away.
Well, who created the Eyeless if not you?
You must have some idea. The metal bones, the hands shaped for building.
Abydon?
Who else but Abydon could conceive such children? They were his assistants. They carried out his work on Eora. He shaped their bones in the White Forge, breathed his own spirit into them as a bellows sparks a flame. But he has long been the overseer of progress in the world. Leaving things behind has always been his way. I allow him to leave his past in my care, so that it does not hold him back.
You and Abydon have a unique connection, then.
I suppose we do. But then, the gods have always been able to accomplish far greater things when working together.
Nearby, you see a shark pass through a school of fish. The fish scatter, evading the predator. Okay, let's continue discussing the Eyeless.
Speak your mind.
Never mind.
You may ask.
What are the bones of one god doing sealed in the temple of another?
Do not play coy with a god, Watcher. I know you have seen his death. I feel it whenever a forgotten thing is taken from me.
But why?
Abydon did not deserve to die here. This place, it was the least I could do to give his remains some privacy.
The least you could do.
The least I could do for ending his life.
Light drains from your surroundings. The kelp forest becomes a copse of black tendrils, stark and twisted as regret.
I called the moon down to me, Ione brother. It was against his wishes. He would not listen to reason, would not listen to me. In his madness, he splintered the moon, but it was not enough. The greatest of the fragments still fell toward that which he would protect.
His forge?
In the end, he took position where it would fall, and absorbed the impact himself.
I thought Bilafa and Kulda were the moons.
Ione brother is their smaller sibling, tiny next to them.
Small enough that the world would survive its impact. You make it sound as though you were the sane one.
The other gods knew what had to be done, but they lacked the will to go through with it. Even gods have their attachments. To erase all knowledge of such a grand thing required unthinkable devastation. The Eastern Reach, Deadfire. Mine was the only solution. When I called down Ione brother, they remained silent. Even Abydon. He knew it was for the best. But he tried to stop it all the same. Perhaps deep down I knew he would. I should have expected it. I could have stopped it.
But why the temple? Why the secrecy?
That time has been forgotten now. And so his death belongs to me. Everything he was before the impact.
But you slew another god. Surely the other gods know this. Surely Abydon must know. Current surges through the kelp bed, pushing each plant sideways like saplings in a hurricane and propelling you backward amidst a torrent of wayward fish.
No! He cannot know! He must never know!
Why?
Understand, he was not always as he is now. His body was not all he left behind. He was devoted to progress and industry from the beginning. But so too was he devoted to preservation. In those times, he would let nothing go. Nothing could be forgotten. His will was iron long before his body.
Preservation. So that was why he went so far to oppose you.
We agreed long ago, all of us, not to alter the course of Kith's civilization. Not directly. Not unless there were no other choice. But in this matter, there was no other choice. He understood that as well as anyone. It was for duty that he opposed it. I would have stopped it if I could, but by then it was too late.
But what was it he was trying to preserve?
Time has finished much of what I started. I cannot tell you that, mortal, for fear of undoing all its costly work.
Of course.
You may ask.
You say on one hand you had to call down Ione Brothier, yet on the other that you would have stopped it for Abydon.
The death of a god is a calamity. You are living in the aftermath of one such death. Surely you can understand.
You have said that sympathy can't get in the way. What about yours for Abydon?
He deserved better. Of all the other gods, he was the only one who acted, who held to his convictions.
The goddess of relentlessness must have appreciated such a quality.
Yes. I admired him for that.
But it's more than that. You loved him. The pull and push of the current becomes long and heavy, like a sigh.
Whatever he was to me, it was not meant to last. Always our duty is to Eora first. I knew he opposed what I intended, that he would wish to preserve what I meant to destroy. I knew it would cause a rift that might never be mended. But I never imagined he'd go so far. I I never imagined it would mean I would never know him, as I once did.
If he doesn't remember dying, why not begin again with him?
Because it might cause him to remember.
An awakening for a god.
No, mortal. Better that we should exist as we are now. What happened once must never happen again. Bad enough that I am cursed to remember it. You may ask.
What do you mean the Forge is meant to be forgotten?
It was never meant for mortal use. Such power, such truths lie within it. It can bring only ruin. When the Pargrunen came to the White March, they were peaceful. They shared common beliefs and purpose. Their visions for the Forge tore them apart. You have seen this for yourself.
They bickered like siblings. That should have been expected from mortals.
They would have destroyed themselves in the end.
How convenient that we'll never know.
You need only look to the history of your own civilization for assurance. How many wars, how many fallen empires might have been averted if only their leaders could forget the objects of their ambition. I mourned the loss of the Pargrunen. Misfortune brought them here. They did not deserve to end so soon.
What does it matter if something is remembered or forgotten? It's in the past, either case.
Memories are the spirits of the past. You of all people should know their sway on the present, Watcher.
They are ours to bear whether we care or not.
Mortals measure the worth of their lives in memory. Who will remember me? How long until I am forgotten? Memory governs every thought, informs every choice. It can fuel passion, understanding, love. Or it can create obsession, madness. You have seen it plague many souls in your travels. Consider the old Watcher who inherited unspeakable crimes from birth. Or the villager whose guilt led him down into a temple in search of the priests he condemned with his silence. Or the promising animancer whose shame destroyed his ethics. They could be free from their burdens, if only they could forget.
Their problems go deeper than memory. Simply forgetting does not make them go away.
For some, perhaps. But for many, the memory is all that remains of it.
The light filtering down from the surface seems to focus on me, huh?
You cast your troubling memories aside when you had the opportunity. And you have found the peace you sought.
It's funny. I remember feeling bad, but I don't remember why. It's like having scars for wounds you don't remember. As long as they don't reopen one day, I can live with that.
The source of those wounds is long gone. The memory was all that could do you harm.
There was value in the memory, despite the harm.
Even when problems have run their course, memory can be the stone that sinks you into the abyss.
Still not sure I agree, but no matter.
Your past has not overwhelmed you yet. Wait. Was there something else, mortal?
Still don't understand why you pulled down Ioni Brathir to destroy the Reach.
The great conundrum of a god is how close to become with your subjects. Too far and they lose hope. Too close and your own judgment fails. Civilizations are meant to ebb and flow. Allow them to persist for too long in power or knowledge, and you invite catastrophe.
So what, people were becoming so powerful that they didn't believe in the gods anymore?
There was a time when we let our sympathies get the better of us. When memories were allowed to persist that should have been washed away. The other gods could not be moved to act. I did what had to be done without them.
You were talking about the Ingwithans?
I speak of what is forgotten. I failed that day, but my purpose was achieved in the end.
Maybe.
I will not dredge up the memory to satisfy idle curiosity.
Well, enough of these questions. I need you to call off the Eyeless.
On the contrary, mortal, their work must continue. Far too much was uncovered while they lay dormant.
They draw attention to the very things you wish hidden. In my dreams, I have seen them swarming over the Deerwood. And another saw them swarming over Ray and Saris.
Those who know too much of the White Forge will be washed clean from Eora, and then the Eyeless shall rest once more.
This isn't some lost lone tribe of dwarves. The Forge sees visitors from all over now. The Eyeless will tear the Deerwood apart. It will never be forgotten. The sea life around you stirs back and forth, agitated, restless.
Even if it is as you say, there is nothing that can be done.
Nothing?
The Eyeless do not think for themselves. They have only the purpose that is given to them. They do not stop until the purpose is fulfilled.
And you set the purpose long ago when you have told them to keep the White Forge hidden and unknown. Is that it? And now they are back out there again, but you can't change the purpose? I bet you need me to go on some quest to find this MacGuffin.
They will not change course now for me or anyone. I am sorry.
If you won't stop them, then I will.
Your determination is commendable, but the Eyeless number in the thousands. You will need more than strength or luck.
It may cost me my life, but I will do what I must.
I will give you what aid I can. I bade the Eyeless to remain hidden when at rest. They are gathered in the hollow of a great rock, splintered from Ione Brother. It lies in a flooded crater known as Kairin's Scar.
Okay.
Know, too, that they were built to answer the call of their master's hammer. When they hear it strike, they come to its aid.
So we need to gather the fragments of the hammer. Okay, and take it to the White Forge where Abydon will remake it.
If you were to take that piece of his hammer from here and reshape it in Abydon's forge into a likeness of the original, you might be able to call them to you. But destroying them would be another matter. I know of one way, but only from the center of the Lion's Den. Only with their master's hammer in your service. If you can do all this, if you can reshape what remains of Abydon's hammer and bring it inside their lair, I can instruct you there on what you would need to do.
I'll do what I can.
And I will see you through when the time comes.
I will remake the hammer and the White Forge and stop the Eyeless.
If you do not, be assured, they will come for you as they did for the Pargrunen.
An uneasy turbulence disturbs the calm like an unwelcome thought.
Careful as you approach the lake. When I claimed the Eyeless, I made sure they would not be discovered while they slept.
You set out sentries, you mean?
Many of my most devoted followers stand watch there. They will not allow you near.
Or you got fanatics.
And there is something far worse. Something more fearsome and dangerous than any Eyeless. Let us hope you do not attract its attention.
More dangerous. You can't just add that in there casually. In place of an answer, a sudden surge in the current foam beneath sends you hurtling upward. The surface above you approaches fast, shifting and glimmering like quicksilver. You emerge soaking wet on the stone floor of the reliquary, gasping for breath as if you'd been holding it for hours. Alright. And Aloth leveled up. And there we've a grim ending to this episode of Pillars of Eternity. Andra cannot just simply call off the Eyeless. I must face them myself, and after my first contact, we're going to need a good long rest. Aloth's just about out of spells. But what a shame about Abydon. This is Abydon here. He's really big. I kind of admired the man for his strength and his craftsmanship, all that whatnot. His dwarves did not deserve that. But that's all fine and dandy. I worship dead men for their strength, forgetting I was strong. This is Master Barco from Brighthelm Recordings, signing off.